All right. So yeah, all right. So we have created a dummy requirement where we want to enter the account name. Once we enter an account name, it will fetch some details and we can modify this detail and save it, right? So for example, if I do this ECME, this is the account name in the database. After entering the name, it will make a server call and show us all the values like the billing city, annual total revenue, and the total number of employees. We have also created this formula field, like if the number of employees are greater than 100, it will change to private limited. If it is less than 100, then it will show the startup type, account type as a startup. All right. So as of now, like I made it 500, and when I do the next, it will update the information and it will return us the ID. So that means the information is updated. We also added this custom message. Once it update, it show the success. Also, if I go to the, let me clear the data. Okay, now if I randomly add anything, it will simply show that the account doesn't exist. So this type of feature we have created. Okay, for those who missed the class, let me quickly recap how we did that. We have created a step, we named it account, and the preview that you're seeing, this is coming from this particular input field is coming from this text. We named it account name. And after that, we have created a data raptor. This is the data raptor. Let me quickly show you. The type of the data raptor is extract. Okay, since it is extract, so we have option. You guys can see the output tag. We already discussed this. So so in normally, if I talk about Apex class, when we write something here, we need to send this information to Apex side, right? And we need to bind it. So the way in Velocity, how we bind it, we declare the data raptor and name whatever we have discussed, whatever name we have used in the element, we use the same name and we pass it as a new value. So this will be treated as a variable, and the same variable we use here. So this is the data raptor. We have declared it as an account. We added account and the name is equal to this. This information is coming back this. So now if I go to the output, we have binded those fields as well, right? We have already discussed this, how these things I have done. Okay, so this way it is showing. Once it made the server call, the data raptor, since it is a extract action, it will make a server call and return us the result in JSON format. Now we have the result. Now we have two options, whether the result may contain a valid information or anything, or it may have nothing. So if it has any information, that means if AID is not null, then we will show them the billings, country, revenue, employee, and code. Okay, so this we will show like that. But if there is no information, it will simply show this no data. And then we making the update action. We call another data raptor, which is the type is load. That means we want to commit this thing. So we will, once they click on the next button, this will automatically run and commit the value into the databases. And we also dragged a step to show the results. Okay, if it is successful, then it will show the update successful. If it is failed, then we will show the fail. Okay, so this is it. This is a simple requirement. Now, like as I discussed early, we will, as we learn more things, we will add the complexities as well. Now, let me go to the preview. Now, for example, if I use ECME, the account name, and here if the information, for example, if someone enter this 1000, okay, if they enter 1000, or for example, if it is 100 and the type is startup, and now I have changed it to 200, the type is changed to private limited. So before, if I go to hit the next button, it will simply commit the database, right? But now before committing the database, we want to show user a text like you have changed the employee total number of employees, and since your company is changed from startup to private limited, the workflows will run, something like that. Before saving that, we just want to show some text message to the user that you have changed this, and because of your change, you this process may fire some business related workflows. Okay, so this kind of information or this kind of requirement if you get, so we need to things here. We need to first verify, we need to first create a logic that store this information. Which information? The current information. If the current value is 100, so we need to identify whether this value is changed or not, and we also need to store this value somewhere. Getting it? For example, if let me actually save it and clear it again. I'm using the same account. All right, this is 100 now. If I change it to 200, all right, we need to store 100 and 200 both. Then only we can identify whether this information is changed or not, right? So we need two parts. First, we need to show a UI which shows after this next button. Second, the logic which identify if something is changed or not. All right, let's quickly add a UI then. So can anyone tell me what will be, which element we need to pick? We need to either go for the input or display. You guys can ping me. No, Satish is saying we need to add this text message. No, we can add text message, but again, the UI part will not be that simple. We have a separate section air display, right? I think I already showed you. We have a section air display. What we need to do, we need to pick this text block. And after, before, this is the data raptor. Before it run, we need to drag it. Okay, so here we will drag that part. Any problem? See, let me actually do that as well. So if I use the text block now, I need to put the element name, and the only possibility, I mean the only possible option, we need to put the default value here, but we do not want that, right? We don't want to treat this as a field. We just want to show a message to a user. Okay, so for that, the best option that we have is this text block, which is in the display section. Okay. All right. We don't need to take care about the label because it is not going to display anything. So yeah, we can add a message like anything like you have changed the number of employees from me to old value. Okay, we will change this old value to something, some variable, old value to new value. Okay. And we can add something like this will run business related workflows, something similar. Like if you want to change this, please click on next button or click on previous button, something similar. Okay, this is nothing but just the messages that we want to show. So see, we have used this. You have changed the number of the employees. The old value is this, new value is this. We will change the old value and new value. Okay, we will see how we can dynamically change this thing here. And this is the normal thing that we have added. Now let me quickly save it. All right, this is there. Now let's quickly go and take the preview. I'm clearing the data. You can see this is showing here. Since it is showing on the same screen and our requirement is we want to show on the next screen, then what we need to add a, what we need, can anyone tell me? Yeah, Raghav is saying the correct. We need to add the step here. And where we need to add this step, we need to add this step before the data raptor. All right. So then We can move this to there and we can rename it. You want to update, right? Yeah, this is actually the name. So we can add this here and we can add employee update. Okay, cool. Okay, now let's quickly take the preview. Here the data. Now see how the JSON is changing. The information is 100. I change this to 200. If I go next, it will show us this information. Okay, but now even if I don't change anything, if I just make it 100 and do the next, it will still show this message because we haven't added anything. So for such a requirement, to fulfill such requirement, we need to go to action, and in the action there is a set value. We need to use set values. I will show you what set value is. Let me first drag it. So remember, in Visual Force and even in Apex side, we have option where we can clone our variables. So similar ways we need to clone it, right? Why? Because we want to store this employee information, the old information and the updated information both, right? Then only we can update this message. Getting it? Then only we can replace this old value to the old value variable and new value to the new variable. So set is used for the same purpose. Value set. Why? Because we want to clone a value, we want to clone a variable information. All right. So this is, we just need to click on the new here and we need to put we need to name it. For example, if we want to change the name of the employee, we can set old employees. All right. And what value we want to give? We want to give the new value, right? Which is this name. Since we want to retrieve the value, so we are using percentage mark. Okay. Any questions as of now? Yeah, so Raghav is saying he has some problem on understanding the JSON part, how the JSON is looking. So Raghav, see, I think you already asked this question in LMS. Yeah, thanks for reminding this thing. So see, if this is a simple component, so the JSON that you're saying is little, this is not that complicated. We can simply say this is the detail, this is the account detail, and these are the variables. But if you work on production, the JSON doesn't look like that. It is a very huge file. So what I'll do is I will basically copy this and go to the next tab and use JSON viewer. Once we click on the JSON viewer and paste whatever you have copied here. Okay, just paste it and click on the view. And here you will see all the parent trees. They're listed here, parent nodes. And then you need to click on the detail account details, and then you will find your option. So for example, if you're working with such a JSON which have so much data, maybe account, contact, related, parent, child, or anything, it will be easier for you to just look at like that only. So for example, if I want to access this city information, what I need to do, I need to go to detail, then account detail, and then city. Okay, so this will help you to identify. If you have other questions, just put it on the LMS so that others can also view it. Okay. Yeah, no worries. No question is a silly question. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I was saying we need to put the account name. Once we put this, it will show this information. Okay, so we have created this variable, which is the old employee. We have stored this. Now, let's see. In the text, let me update this value. Again, if we want to update the old, if we want to access a variable, we need to use percentage mark, right? And the new value is this one, employee. Going back, remove this, add percentage mark, and put add employee. Okay. Now take a preview, clear the data. Now just search the name of the account. If it is 100, I'm changing this to 200 and clicking. So it will say your old value is 100. Now it's changed to 200. Okay, so this is it. But if you notice, there's a old employee node is added here, right? So you can also verify this thing from seeing this in JSON. Even if we don't use in our logic, you just keep an eye on the JSON part as well. The new information is 200 now, and the old information is 100. So we have the pair of old and information and the new information. But we have in this requirement, there's a drawback, or there's a exception, there's an error that we haven't fixed, which is this. Even if I don't change anything here and go next, this will show. It will show this screen, but we need to stop it. How we can stop that? We need to add a condition here. We need to add a check or show this only when anything got changed. Okay, so how we can do that? See, again, the same thing. We can add, we need to add another element here, which is changed. Okay, is employee changed. Okay, and now see, if you notice, there's a fx written. That means this value set doesn't only accept the simple variable names, but we can also create a complex logics. This is nothing but a formula field. Okay, we can add any complex formula based on our requirement, and we can implement them. So for example, here I need to verify whether this information is changed or not. And if it is changed, we will return yes. If it is not, we will return no. So for what will the formula for that? It is very simple. Actually, we need to use if condition first. If, then we need to use the name of the variable, which is percentage old. Let me copy this old employee. If percentage old employee is not equal to, this is the operator of not equal to percentage, which is the a employee. Okay, if it is not equal to, then if they are not equal to, that means they are changed. If they are changed, we will store by. If not changed, we will store n. Okay, this is the formula. But see, there is a issue here. Can anyone tell me what is the issue? No, Raghav, the formula is correct. Yeah, I know you are relating this with your Apex, but yeah, in Velocity, we refer this. You can also check here as well. This is not equal to. Okay. Yeah, so the formula is correct. There is no issue in terms of formula. See, the issue here is, since initially this value will always blank, right? We haven't used this variable. The initial value is null, but now we are assigning this to something. So it will always show that the value is changed. Let me show you. Go to the preview, clear the data. The beauty of this product is you can do the unit testing like just doing your changes. You don't need to go anywhere else and compare your code or do anything complex thing. You just need to put your name, do next. Okay, see, it added a node is employee change, and it is showing by. And why it is showing by, let me tell you. Since the information initially is null and we have assigned something, so it will consider this as it is changed. It is saying, okay, the initial value is null and now it is changed to the to I think 100. Yeah, it is changed to 100, so it is showing the true. So it is working. So how we can fix it? Can anyone tell me? Correct. Vaibhav is right. We need it will only we need to create a separate value set. See, this is the set value, and where I need to drag it, I need to drag after this screen. Okay, we need to drag here after the detailed set. We need to drag it here, and now I'm copying the same thing. The information is this, and yeah, here this. Now we can delete it. Here we can assign it like that only. Okay, now now verify whether our value is working fine or not. Just clear the data. Let's add something here. Doing next, you can see the old information and the new information are same. A employee and they both are same. Now I'm changing this to 200. Now when I do the next, it will say the new information is 200, the old information is 100, and its change parameter is true. Now let's again clear the data, and this time we will not change. Okay, the old information is 100, the new information is 100, hitting the next value, and see, we haven't changed anything, but this time it is saying n. So clearly our logic is working. Now what we need to do, we need to add a rendering condition here. For that, we need to click on our text block, which is this. And you can see we already discussed about conditional, so we are using the same thing here. We will check here and we will see. We will verify old. It is not showing the name. Let me copy the variable name. Is changed. Let's go there. Is change is equal to by. If it is by, then only show this block. Otherwise, it will skip and commit this thing into the database. Let's quickly do the preview. I'm clearing the data. Now, May next. The old value is 100. The new value is 100. We have changed this to 200. And once we changed, you can see the new value is updated to 200. The old value is still 100. And set the next button. Once we change, it is saying yes, the new value is changed. All right. Once we do it, it will commit the database and show us the alert. All right. Okay. So yeah, this is it. Let's clear the data again, and this time we will not change it and see how it is working now. We are not doing any changes here. We are doing the next button, or if you want, we can change this. Okay, and doing the next. Again, we have updated the revenue, but we haven't touched the total employee, and this is 0. This is none. I mean, this is n because we haven't changed, and it skip this block, employee update block, and directly update the value. Okay, any questions? Yeah, so see, Raghav, Naveen is asking why we cannot use this logic here itself. So see, Naveen, let me tell you, let me open the notepad. So see, I'm creating a dummy class ABC. In this ABC class, I have ABC in constructor. Okay, so see here, we define the class variables. Okay, and in the constructor, we define something, we assign a value. Okay, this way we will do it, the coding. Is it clear? So see, the definition, I mean, the defining a variable will simply, if I'm not assigning anything, the default value that it will take, if I just before assigning, if I do the system dot debug, and print this statement. So at line number 4, you will get null, right? Why? Because we haven't defined anything here, right? It will simply show you null value. And in line number 5, we are defining anything. So if you go back, oh, is it? Okay. Oh, sorry guys, I think it is not visible to you. So what I was saying, let's see this. This is our dummy class, and this is the string variable, and this is the constructor. And since at this line number 2, we have not defined anything, and if I want to print this, it will print null, right? Correct. And at this line, we have defined some value to that variable. Similar ways, we have declared this old employee, but initially it is in that stage. That means the default value is null. Since we have now changed and assigned this something, and if I add the logic to verify whether the value is changed or not in that state, it will show yes because the value is changed. So that's why we cannot use it in this particular block. For that, if we want to verify if it is changed or not, we need to first ask user to update the value. Once user update the value, we will then add a logic and verify if it is saved or not. So that's why we need two. We can in a further after this, we will show you how we can use only one set value instead using two. There is an option, but why I show this, because it is an initial one, so that you guys can grab this thing. Once now after that, we can add the complex logics. Any questions? Just go through the recording and try to do whatever I have done by your own self. At that time, if you face any exception, that log this in your LMS. Okay. All right. Now I'm moving to the another topic. Yeah, correct. You're right. So Nikhil is saying he got it. So, okay. Yeah, right. All right, guys, let's discuss the other topic.